Alright, look at that. This is what you call a victory cigarette. You know what I'm saying? It's basically we rock. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Yeah, back to this uh Mandela effect. This mystical Mandela effect. You know what I'm saying? Damn memory ran out of me on the last video, but I was kind of on a roll there. But this Mandela effect, something I do want to note about it. It's something about Mandela 46664, and I'm not sure exactly what the relevance of that number is into him, but something I do remember. Okay, I frequently talk about my grandpa Joe that was in Vietnam. Well, that was my grandpa that was with or he was he's who I grew up with, and then my other grandpa was he was really into conspiracy, man. I mean, he knew his crap, man, and he was also into Bible prophecy. And he listened to a lot of talk radio on shortwave. Like he used to listen to Bill Cooper before it was cool to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like way back. And you know what I'm saying? On 9/11, he whipped out this book. My buddy still got this book. It's called The Illuminati. It's like a novel. It's fiction. It's a fictionalization of real things. And in it, the day 9/11 happened, he came running out with that book. And he goes, Chris, it was in this book. It was in this book. You know what I'm saying? Or something to that effect. You know, I can't remember exactly, but I remember something like that happening. You know what I'm saying? He was like, it's in the book. But I went to visit him in Tennessee, dude, when I was real young. I was probably only like 12, 11. And he showed me Mandela with the 46664 in it. You know what I'm saying? So this, let me think. That's like 20 years ago. I remember him showing me that. So people are saying they don't remember ever seeing that in the past, but I do remember seeing it. My grandpa showed me. It's just people weren't privy to it at the time. People would consider him a conspiracy nut. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, but I mean, I don't think there is conspiracy nut. It's just conspiracy is so nutty that once you're aware of it, it has a profound effect on you and your perception and your awareness. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and you know how this relates to this whole Mandela effect. And I think it pertains to the 46664 poster. And like I said, I remember seeing that way back in the day. And they're trying to say that they don't remember it, and they're trying to say somehow this accounts for time travel action. You also can see these theories of they show you pictures of ancient like Egyptians, and like they have an Egyptian guy that looked like 50 Cent, one that looked like Michael Jackson, one that looked like Michelle Obama, and they're showing you all these strange similarities or ancient black and white photos from like the 1800s that look like famous actors now. And then you read about like like Thoth is Hermes, and like it's possible that it's like it's the devil, because I mean Aleister Crowley says Thoth is the devil. You know what I'm saying? So it then you find out like maybe there was a real person that was claiming that identity, or he was saying he was all those people because it's an immortal. But what if it's not an immortal? What if it's a time traveler conveniently showing up? Like I remember this dude named Baba Black Sheep, and he was a Hindu guru, and he could disappear in one place and show up in another place. Uh, and it was supposed to be through mystical, metaphysical means, but you could do that through magicianry. You just need a screw face. You need to have a double. You know what I'm saying? Or you got to have a point to the mountain, strike the grindstone setup. And, you could easily, especially if people are superstitious and they want to believe, they will believe. And these people exploit that sometimes. But then again, you also hear about the founder of Aikido supposedly had this ability where he could just disappear and show up somewhere else. And this dude's supposed to have credibility, to some extent. But then again, when you look into this guruism, hypnosis, people who are capable of a lot of mind power that can blur the lines, man. But then again, maybe these people could tap into extra dimensional wormhole portal doorways, ley line, energy vortex, pinpoints. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just speculating here on how these people pull it off. But look, there has been claims of that, and then since I've studied, I've read a lot of martial arts books, and then when you get into their their parable and tales and stuff, you hear about dudes being able to jump and disappear, and then they'd be in the rafters. You know what I'm saying? Or dudes being able to jump up into 3-story windows, and then jump out like that. Once again, this stuff could all be mysticism, which is kind of like it's kind of like you create something real, man. It's a lot of it is to do with kind of like deception and placebos. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see from it anyway. But then again, I ain't never hung out with no mountain hermit guy, like on Kill Bill. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe they can do some of this stuff, or once again, they're rumors, so you get fame and renown, and now people will pay you more to teach them things. That like you can keep them dangling this carrot on them. You know what I'm saying, for longer. With the heavier iron hand. You know what I'm saying? And they'll put up with it. You know what I'm saying? But the Mandela effect, I became aware of it a couple months ago, and then ever since I see it popping out. Like I just watched a video about interview with a vampire instead of it, now they're saying the vampire, and it's clear that it was interview with, I think it was but I mean, to see, that's how tricky and subtle this stuff is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then there's another one about Star Wars. Luke, I am your father, and now it's saying Luke, something else, man. I mean, I don't remember, but they changed it, is what they're saying. And with the TH digital remastery, it wouldn't be that hard to do that. You know what I'm saying? Which the Lucas franchise keeps doing with all their movies. They keep implanting and taking things out. But then again, the time travel thing, the memory hole, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the memory hole goes deeper and is multi-dimensional. The multi-dimensional memory hole. The Orson Welles memory hole. The time machine memory hole. I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazier. Keeps just getting crazier. Like Rob Skiba, the Babylon Rising, I think it's called, series, and he talks about Nimrod, how they extracted his body out of a burial chamber in the desert in a pit that was in water, and supposedly they're trying to clone this thing. So that's more kind of like it's finding mummies and cloning them. I mean, that gives validity to that. But if they got time travel capabilities, they could go back, send a hooker to you, basically. She'll take a piece of your hair, stick it in her coochie, get buzzed back into the future, and they could extract it, and boom, clone your DNA. I mean, if these things are indeed possible, like if you look into the Montauk Project, the Philadelphia experiment, it seems like it's suggested by some people. You know what I'm saying? That they, by accident, learned about time travel. You know what I'm saying? By messing with these devices and creating fields. Like, there's this episode on Ancient Aliens called Pyramids, and it shows how they took a metal pyramid, put it in this field, and it started spinning. and it disappeared. It flashed and disappeared. And they said it might have went in a different dimension. It might have actually went into a different time. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy. It's like it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's like say time is like a roll of tape on an old school VCR. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back and edit. You know what I'm saying? And then but whatever you edit, it's still, in the whole tape. I mean, I don't know, man. Don't know how it exactly works, but I made a video called "The Past, the Future, and the Present." I think probably about, man, it was a while ago, probably 9 months ago, and at the time I was talking about how time just feels so compressed and condensed and just weird, and it seems like everything's always converging all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And then I found out about maybe they are experimenting with time. Minority Report. The CERN machine cracking open dimensions, and I've heard people say that they even seen windows like parallel dimensions. Or you could think of that movie Paycheck with Ben Affleck, where he goes and gets his mind wiped. He can't remember what he was working on because it was so secret. You know what I'm saying? And it was basically a machine like that kind of uh, manipulate time. It's crazy. So Mandela effect. But I remember seeing it when I was a kid. But here's the thing about Berenstein Bears, and then they got Berenstain. I think, if I remember correctly, all right, at the doctor's office when I was a kid, or anytime you went to, yeah, the doctor's office always. So I mean, that's kind of a connection there, that you always see these things at the doctor's office. You know what I'm saying? It was a book, or they were book. It was a magazine. It was called Highlights, I think, is what it's called, Highlights, and they were children's books. And if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like, I think Berenstein Bears was in Highlights. They were like what am I looking for here? The spin-off, a sub kind of uh it was a story that I think that was in it, and then they'd pop up, they do like little comics of them, right? But what's crazy is that Highlights magazine, it always had these art pictures. It's called Hidden in Plain Sight, and it would have like trees, rivers. It would have like a landscape, but in the leaves of the tree, there'd be like the face of an old lady, and then they'd have a shoe down there in the water in the river. They'd have a rock, that looked like a ball, a beach ball, and you'd have to. There'd be a list of all the things you need to find hidden inside of this picture, this art. And now looking back on it, Hidden in Plain Sight. I think there's been documentaries named that. I think there's Illuminati card might even be called Hidden in Plain Sight. I might be wrong about that, but it's funny in that book. It shows you how they can hide things in plain sight, because until you're looking for them, so you're aware that they're hidden in there, you might not even notice them. You know what I'm saying? And you look at, like, I've been doing these videos, like about the one about Brandon Lee and the Crow, and I showed the 9/11 was in it. I was just watching. My cousin came over, and he was watching Trailer Park Boys, and I was just kind of sitting there, just half observing it. And sure enough, as soon as you see a clock, it's 9/11. Then it switches scene, you see the clock again, and it's 9/11 in a different configuration. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so they let you know, like deja vu. They show you twice, glitch in the matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what I read this quote: if it happens once, uh, it's coincidence. If it happens twice, it's happenstance. But if it happens 3 times, it's enemy action. And when you comes to things hidden in plain sight, predictive programming, symbolism, like especially Illuminati symbolism, they do hide it in plain sight, just like they did in that book there. But I mean, the capabilities of being able to change things, are they really fluctuating? You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing we're probably going to see more of this, but it's kind of like it's the real memory hole, man.